The Tilta Mirage was first made available in September of last year. It was essentially a cheaper alternative to the Polar Pro base camp. It also had the option to upgrade to a motor which controlled the intensity of the slide-in VND filter. Personally, I only ordered the VND version without the motor since I don't have a lot of applications where separate VND control would be useful for the type of content I create. However, this is a very useful feature for certain applications, and I do want to point out that it's a clear advantage included in the Mirage, which the Basecamp and most other matte boxes don't have. This could be useful to control your exposure wirelessly if you're, flying your setup on a drone, or if you need to mount the camera in a position where, the settings aren't easily accessible. You can probably adjust a lot of your camera settings and focus wirelessly through an app, wireless monitor, or a follow focus. However, traditionally an ND is not something that you would have control over wirelessly, which is an issue when it is often one of the key ways that you're setting your exposure in a professional environment. Although this feature is distinct, I will not be reviewing this part of the product since I have not had a hands-on experience with it. I'll simply be reviewing the matte box itself and the VND filter. First, let's talk about build quality. The Mirage is a lightweight design, yet it feels very sturdy. I can put it through abuse and I'm not worried that anything is gonna break, which is pretty much all I can ask for something that's this lightweight. Second is the overall design. It has a modular design allowing you to not only switch out and use different filters, but you can also purchase add-ons that allow you to attach multiple filters at a time. This design allows for circular drop-in filters made custom by Tilta, but it also supports more traditional filters at the front. This allows you lots of flexibility to use the Tilta ecosystem, which includes lots of affordable glass options, but it also gives you the freedom to use higher end glass that you may already own or you wish to purchase. I think this is a great call by Tilta. The Basecamp, on the other hand, forces you to specifically use Polar Pro filters. So if you want to adapt a filter by Tiffin, for example, you're out of luck. Now, Polar Pro filters are quite high quality. I would say that they definitely beat Tilta's glass options. However, you can't upgrade to anything higher if you need to. Tilta's glass isn't as high quality in my opinion, but they do give you the option to use much better third-party glass, which is a huge win. Third, let's talk about mounting options. The Mirage comes equipped with mounting rings to adapt directly to your various size lenses. This is great for your photography lenses, but just note that most cinema glass does not have filter threads, so this mounting solution won't work in that situation. The Mirage also comes with a rail mount, so you can easily switch out lenses without removing the matte box entirely. Or like I mentioned before, if you have cinema glass, this is a great option. This mount is included in the base price, which is a win over the Basecamp, which charges an additional $120 US just for the rail mount. Next, let's talk about the drop-in VND. This is a huge feature that modern matte boxes are starting to include. When dealing with a bigger budget production, typically you're only going to use single NDs because you don't get the same amount of color shift with those. However, the control and flexibility of a VND solution is worthwhile in many cases. Some of my work is still quite run and gun, and I don't have the time to get the right filter for every single shot in most cases. Having a quick exposure solution by using a VND is a really handy solution. Before getting the Mirage, I was using the Canon VND adapter, which is pretty good, but it still had substantial blue shift at higher intensities. I was hoping that the Mirage would be a little bit more accurate. However, when I tested both VNDs against each other, I actually found that the Mirage wasn't the solution I was hoping for. I found that the Canon VND had more natural colors at lower intensities and then started getting really blue at really high intensity. The Mirage, on the other hand, had a baseline orange tint and then shifted blue as the intensity went up. So no matter how high the intensity was, I wasn't getting accurate colors, and I would have to end up doing a lot of color correction on essentially every shot. Even if all my camera settings were accurate, I would still have to do that. So I ended up opting to just keep using the Canon filter because I found it was just more reliable in a lot of scenarios. I've not personally used the Basecamp VNDs, but from what I've heard and seen online, it seems like those are much more accurate, and I'm assuming that's largely due to them splitting their VNDs into multiple stages so that there's, not as large a range for every single filter to cover. I'm not sure how the Basecamp would stack up against the Canon VND, but hopefully one day I get the chance to compare those and I could give you, some sort of opinion or read on that. Fifth, let's talk about value. If we want to compare the Basecamp price and features to the Mirage is a much more affordable option with similar features. The Mirage VND version retails for $369 USD, while the Basecamp Stage 2 VND retails for $549. And that doesn't even include the rail mount. Everything else offered is almost identical. Both come with a VND solution, both allow for drop-in filters. On paper, the Mirage is better value. However, there's something to be said about more accurate glass. With that said, I would say that based on the price difference, the Mirage is still really, really good value. Here's my final conclusion about the product. I would say that if you're looking for a solid VND solution, the Mirage is not the best option available. I would consider a VND adapter or something like the Basecamp. However, I think the Mirage is really, really good value for the matte box itself without the VND. It is really flexible for filter options. If you want to drop in a mist or a polarizer or something like that, then it's great value. And having third-party glass support is really, really huge win for this product. So my recommendation would be to only purchase the base model and then use it to control flares and add filters, but I would find another VND solution with higher color accuracy. Thanks for watching. If you are a filmmaker and you want to be a part of a community committed to learning and honing the craft of film, subscribe to the channel, or you can also give the video a like. I'm posting content at least weekly, so don't miss out. We'll see you in the next one.